Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 114 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-host,
George Breden.
And in this episode, we talk about the board games Scape Goat and Dragonscales. We played the demo for the highly anticipated game Outriders and share our thoughts on this looter shooter and much more. Intern Alexa, ask a random question.
Here's a question for you. What paper that you've written are you most proud of?
What paper that I've written that I'm most proud of? I'm well out of college. Man, I don't even know. I guess, you know what? I do have something that I'll say, and it's not really related because it's not like a thesis or, some sort of thing like that. When I was in high school, I designed an RPG, which I still have. It's a notebook, and it's like 80 or 90 pages, handwritten. Charts are hand-drawn, everything, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's actually based off, which is hilarious. I'll tell you the story in a second, but it's based off the movie Species with a little bit of a twist. And then literally, I don't know, maybe Gen Con 2008 or so. Maybe it was a couple years after it started in Indy. There's a couple of booths that sold like old RPGs and stuff real cheap. It's like buy 3 get 1 free, or stuff like that, like buy 10 for $50. I saw that they actually had a Species role-playing game. It was like a paperback. So I bought it.
Did you get it?
I bought it for $3 and I still have it. Yeah.
Did you check it out and compare it to what you had?
Oh, it was nothing like it, but yeah, it was just the irony of, man, I spent so much time. I don't know why I like that movie so much.
And then they beat you to the punch as far as getting it out there.
Well, yeah, I'm a teenager with no money at that point. So, no license agreements.
Right.
Which I'm sure it probably wasn't expensive to get.
I haven't seen the movie. Or if I have, I don't remember. So I'll have to check it out.
Realistically, it's okay. I don't think it's very, amazing or anything, but I wonder let's see, Species movie, Rotten Tomato.
Give me the pitch. Like, what's the premise of the movie that got you so much as a teenager?
I don't even remember. Honestly, it's been so long. This thing came out in 1995.
Oh, man.
So that gives you an idea, because I graduated in 2000, so, it's around there. But
right.
All right, so critics rating I don't even care about is 43%.
Oof.
And the audience score is what I mostly care about is 31%. So I don't know what the draw is of this. I mean, the movie sucked apparently.
You were the perfect demographic right at that time.
Apparently. I don't know. I think it's like, if I had to remember without looking anything up, the species of aliens kind of like take over some people's bodies. I'm not even doing it justice. I don't know. Let's see. Species Wikipedia. Oh, you know what? Intern Alexa. What is the plot of the movie Species? Alexa, what is the plot of the movie Species?
Species is a 1995 action movie starring Natasha Henstridge, Michael Madsen, and Ben Kingsley. A group of scientists try to track down and trap a killer alien seductress before she successfully mates with a human. Its runtime is 1 hour, 48 minutes. It has an IMDb rating of 5.8 out of 10 and is rated R.
Bam. Thank you, intern. There you go. That didn't really tell you that much more, but anyway, going back to the original question, that is probably my most exciting thing just because it stuck with me so long.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else, if it's like a college paper or something, whatevs. I don't have like published college papers or anything.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Ooh, I got one more. When I was doing, this is like maybe 10 years ago, I worked at General Electric. And I wrote a 114-page manual for all the proprietary stuff for the help desk. And dropped like the training time from like 2 weeks down to 3 days with better efficiency. That is also pretty dope.
Well done. Yeah.
Those are my papers.
Pretty cool.
You got anything?
Well, I'm working on a book currently as a co-editor, and this is with the Deaf Heritage Center in Dublin. This is a reference book that's coming out, and I'm pretty proud of my involvement with it. And I'm involved with a lot of different papers in the book. I've done some translations of some Irish Sign Language videos for the book, which I'm very proud of, and a lot of proofreading and editing of most of the other pieces. And this is going to be a book called Discovering the Deaf Glen, an anthology of Irish deaf history.
You've been working on this for a while.
Yes. and we'll be working on it for a while longer, it seems. So that's all right.
In a bitter way, or just because it requires more time?
It's kind of both. Like it keeps this
is the book that never ends.
No, eventually we're going to get this done. And I think the pandemic hasn't helped this process at all.
That's very fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all right. It's all right. We're getting there. We're getting closer all the time, and we'll get it. I think we'll get it published in this year.
Well, cool. All right. Well, we're to a weekly podcast at this point, so there's not a whole lot to talk about in between each episode. But as always, we like to kind of bring up a few points that we've been, maybe things we've been doing between the episodes. So, George, you want to start? What you been up to?
Well, it's funny. We were just talking about the book. That's what I've been doing a lot this week in between the episodes, doing a lot of extra work on the book. And then, this is big. I went and got my vaccination for COVID-19, as an educator. So
very nice.
Now I can start going back to work, maybe, in person rather than just online. And then my brother and group of friends and myself, we've been and Kat as well. We've been watching, some bad movies on the weekends. And so the first couple we've had, one of them is the movie Cats.
Oh, the one where they're all like anamorphic paints and stuff all over them?
Oh, my God. It is the worst movie. It is the worst movie probably I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of bad movies. And we actually sat through the whole thing because we forced ourselves. And it's horrendous. Cats. I can't imagine how it came to be.
That's based on the Broadway play, correct?
Yes, and now I'm thinking the Broadway play is probably also horrendous. It didn't do them any favors. But what they tried to do is they tried to make it into a story, and the play is just a series of poems, loosely, not even connected at all, just a series of poems that are put to music. That's it. And then when they tried to make the movie, they were trying to make it into a story, and they threw in some extra bits for comic relief that was just miserable.
Oh, did they Jar Jar Binks the whole thing?
Oh, my Lord, yeah. I have to imagine. I haven't seen the play, but I cannot imagine that it's anything like what they did to this. It's unspeakable, honestly. I can't believe I made it all the way through.
That's a feat.
I would have walked out. I would have walked out in the theater, and I never do that. And
it's that bad, huh?
Oh, it's much worse than you have any idea. If you've not seen it, if you've not subjected yourself to this, oh man.
I remember when the trailer was out and I watched it and I was, I don't know about that, and people were giving it crap.
I wonder what its rating is.
Alexa, what rating does Cats the movie have?
Cats is rated PG for some rude and suggestive humor. The movie has a rating of 2.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's way too high. It's 19% on the tomato thing.
Oh, wow, man. Species got it beat.
Yeah. So, oh, man. So there's that one. And then this one is kind of interesting because it was the next one we watched, and I thought it was going to be, after that, I thought they're all going to be really bad. And the next one we watched is a movie called Shakma, which is about this baboon that gets loose in a medical facility and goes around killing people.
Is it bad on purpose, though?
Well, I have to say, yeah, it was actually a decent film. I have to say, as dumb as it was. And the whole idea is like the scare that Dungeons and Dragons had back in the 90s or whatever, like if you do Dungeons and Dragons, terrible things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, the reason the baboon gets out and gets loose and starts killing people is because everyone in the facility is involved in playing this game of Dungeons and Dragons, basically. They're like LARPing.
I think I've actually not seen it, but I think I'm aware of this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it gets out and it goes on this rampage and yeah, it's a downer of a movie, but it's well done, actually.
Well, I got one you can add to your list.
Okay.
Troll 2.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I don't think I could make it.
And Thanks Killing.
Is that the worst movie you could come up with?
Both of these are pretty bad.
Troll 2, I'm sure, is going to be I don't think I'll even make it.
Incredibly bad. Now, here's the thing. Thanks Killing is very raunchy as a movie. It's so funny, though. I mean, it's bad to be bad.
Okay.
I think Troll 2 was actually trying to make an attempt and absolutely fell.
Yeah. Either way, we're going to be sitting there making fun of the movie the whole time. So it's still going to be funny. It's still going to be fun.
Yes. Those are two that my brother brings out a lot when he was with his friends and stuff. They used to do this a lot. Yeah. When they have friends over, they, especially for, Thanksgiving and Halloween and all that crap. They would let these movies play in the background, and it was just a social piece to make fun of every once in a while. Like, turn out, God, this is so bad,
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. We're having a good time with it. We paired the movie Shakma because of the Dungeons and Dragons aspect of that. We paired that one up with Knights of Badassdom.
Nice.
And which is basically about these LARPers that summon a demon and then have to deal with it. Yeah, so that was pretty funny. That's actually a pretty funny movie. It's got some better known people in it, actually.
Yeah, didn't you watch that at the overnight event thing you go to one time?
I don't know if they've ever had that. I don't think they have, but I didn't watch it there. No, we watched it. We're just doing it on Zoom now.
Gotcha.
So, well, it's been a good time. And that's about it as far as what I've been doing, other than, I did play one board game that I haven't played before, and that is Red Outpost, which is a worker placement game. And it's quite short. It's an hour-long game, and it's quite enjoyable. I think I can recommend it.
Did you play it on in real life?
We may do a more in-depth review of it later on, but I played that over on Tabletop Simulator.
Nice.
And Tabletopia has it as well.
Well, very cool. Yeah, I've heard of it. It looks kind of neat, and I like dice placement games, so I'm game.
This one it's not dice placement. It is worker placement.
Oh, worker placement. Well, I mean, I like that too. Sorry,
so
I misconstrued that in my own head as I was reading.
Yeah, but it is a decent game. It's one that is sort of unique because everyone shares all the workers, and you move them around to block people from their options.
Is it co-op or no? It doesn't sound like co-op.
No, it's not co-op. You're trying to do the best that you can to get yourself promoted to the leader of this new Russian outpost on another planet.
That
You're doing it for the motherland.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. It's sort of got some ironic humor. It's poking fun at the Soviet regime, but it's pretty good.
Well, very nice. Me. Yeah. I don't have much to go over. I mean, I've just been, playing some phone games, obviously Pokemon Go, but I did go to Malibu Jacks. I haven't seen my niece in a while, and she had COVID and stuff, and then her mom had COVID, and there's like a huge train of a couple of months of can't go anywhere because of it. So I haven't even seen her since Christmas. And actually, I think I haven't seen her for months before that. Pretty long time. Anyway, I had this idea to get everybody, like my family and stuff, up to Malibu Jacks. It was really just her and my mom and then my family, like me and my wife and kids. Yeah. And, we played some arcade games and stuff. It was pretty cool. We played some mini golf, and I got a hole in one. So I've scored a hole in one on 3 of the 18 holes there. So bam.
15 more to go.
15 more to go. It's a really pretty little putt-putt course, and I love putt-putt. So that was a lot of fun. And then, after that, I thought it was so cool, we went and joined a golf club. So yeah, it was like,
oh wow.
Well, it was actually in the other order, but
Oh,
there's Woodhaven that's real close to us, and we went because they have like a pool and they have like a lot of cool events for families and everything. And so, we did like a social membership with it because we want to take the kids up there. They have a lot of kids. So when everything starts kind of clearing up and we can kind of get the kids back into like an environment with a lot of kids and everything, like the pool, I don't think is a big deal, but I don't want to be in a room with 150 people all crammed together or something.
Yeah.
They've got like social distancing and all that, but, it's going to be kind of neat to, make some friends in the, that area.
Oh, absolutely.
I never thought I'd be a member of a golf club, which is really, like a country club or whatever.
Yeah. I didn't know you played golf, so.
Yeah, I play golf.
Okay.
Here's how that went. I bought some golf. Well, I went and rented golf clubs with some friends that I worked with. Well, you remember Jeremy Hodges?
Yeah.
So I went with him and some of his friends, and we played a bunch of times, and then randomly this guy named Charlie came up. He was like, I'm going to golf with you guys. It's like, okay. And he ended up golfing with us all the time. And I ended up meeting him at many golf courses and playing with him a lot. So I'm kind of sad that I lost touch with him. I pretty much, once I had Theron, I stopped doing all that. But
yeah.
Anyway, it was kind of rough for me because I didn't play a lot and my elbow has problems. So doing the swings and stuff and trying to get that perfect swing was very hard. And then around that same time, I bought the PlayStation Move on the PlayStation 3. And they had the disc golf game on there. And I was like, man, this is really cool. So me and my cousin were like, let's go try it out. So we went to a course. We bought some Frisbees. Well, the disc golf discs.
Oh, that is so much fun. Yeah.
Oh man. Number one, it destroys golf for me. I like it so much better because you can get really good at it, but you can also suck and still do pretty fun or have a lot of fun doing pretty well.
Sure. I've never played golf, so I can't compare the two, but I love disc golf. Yeah.
Well, you know how, here's the way I explain it to somebody. I mean, it plays exactly the same. One has a basket that you throw a disc at, but it's the same type of, thought. You try to get it in the basket in the least amount of throws.
Yeah.
And here's what the difference is. When I hand you a disc, I say, you're like, how do I throw it? I don't care. You know what I mean? However, you can get that thing from your hand to that basket. But in golf, it's, here's the perfect swing. Otherwise you slice it and the ball goes off into the, the rough and all this stuff. And it's just,
it's way more technical,
very technical. It's very repetitious because in disc golf, you're sitting there and you're like, what do I do? Well, I can use a different disc because maybe I want to chuck it like not as far. So I want to use a special disc for it. But if you're like stuck behind some bushes, you're like, how to get it out of here? Right. In golf, you have to like always hit it the same way or like do some chipping or whatever and get really kind of crazy with it. But in this, it's just like, I'm just going to toss it straight up into the air and let it like roll across the ground. You can just do crazy stuff to get out of the tough situations.
Yeah.
So I think it's more accessible. Golf is a lot of fun though. I actually really do like it. I'm not a very big sports person unless it is an individual sport. I really like those.
Yeah.
And ping pong. Ping pong is phenomenal.
I guess we'll call ping pong a sport. I'm just kidding.
It's a sport.
I'm kidding. There's people that are unbelievable at it.
There's no way I'm as good as those guys, but I'm pretty decent.
Cool.
So that's what I've been up to. And yeah, other than that, I wonder if I can't remember if there was a game. Oh yeah. There's this Blade and Soul Revolution that came out on the iPhone a couple of days ago and it downloaded for me because I pre-ordered and, it's kind of neat, but I don't know, man, playing MMOs on my phone has kind of died out for me. However, this game has got a really unique travel method where you just like jump and fly. It's done quite well actually for a mobile game and it looks really good. It uses the Unreal Engine. So it's very flashy and it might be a little bit too weird with the way the characters swing their weapons around and stuff, like just overly animated,
Yeah. Just frenetic.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of watching the Transformers movie where there's almost too much happening with an anime. Just swing your fist, dude. I don't need to see like,
yes,
you know what I mean? Like sensory overload.
That movie. I hate that movie. All those movies so much.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them.
Yeah.
The combat's just too hard to follow.
That's exactly right. It's garbage. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like that, but like there's just when somebody swings their fist or whatever, like does some kind of swings a sword, you get all these pieces of clothing on you flying everywhere. And it's supposed to be very like, you know, feudal Japan inspired, I guess. Like cherry blossoms and stuff everywhere. And it's really pretty. And obviously feudal Japan is my favorite time in history, but they try to make it like an anime, but it's like just really awkwardly done, I guess. I don't know. It just didn't, I'll have to give more time.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like it's going to be on the way out.
Yeah. And it's also one of those games where I have to keep my phone plugged in when I play because it just drains your battery.
Burns up. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's really hard to sit down and constantly play it.
Does your phone heat up as well?
It heats up, but I have a case, so I don't really feel it that much. But the battery, you know, if I don't pay attention, you know, 10% goes down in like 5 minutes.
No way.
Because I'm using an iPhone 7, which is ironic because I'm so much into technology and I have this old phone. But I don't know. I like it. The phone.
Right. Maybe not the game so much.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's talk about some news items and then we'll hit up some games and get to the really fun thing. If you're not familiar with Outriders, this is a video game. Obviously, this is not a board game. And we're going to be talking about that pretty in depth because there's a demo out and we'll get to it. But let's do some news items first. Number one, I do have one news item I want to talk about just because it's funny. The Pokemon Go game has a collaboration. First time in 5 years, I think, that it's going to part one of this collaboration. It's between Pokemon Go and the actual TCG card game for Pokemon. And just, it says in part one of the collaboration, Professor Willow will appear as a Pokemon TCG card in summer of 2021, which marks the 5-year anniversary of the release of Pokemon Go. And we plan for this card to be obtainable in regions around the world where the Pokemon TCG is sold. And then I guess they're going to have other parts. Be cool to see some. I want to get it. I don't know. Okay. I think Pokemon Go is one of those things where people just buy the cards, but no one plays it now.
They just trade the cards for money.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's just a gold mine of CCG. Anyway, you got some Kickstarter stuff. What's up?
Yeah, we've got some Kickstarters to talk about, and some of these are going to be ending fairly quickly. You've probably already heard of them because we mentioned them on the last show. But I'm going to mention them again because, man, these are great games. One is Root, the Marauders expansion, 7 days on that. And then the other is the Everdell expansions and Collector's Big Box. That one is not ending soon. That one still hasn't appeared, but you can sign up to be notified when it does. And that is going to be the Mistwood expansion, which is going to add spider AI characters that are against you. And you can play it solo or you can play it in a 2 or 3 player game to add an extra player into your game. I'm not sure why you would want to do that. If you have 2 or 3 players, just play the game.
Right?
But I mean, you can, so maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of bummed that it wasn't a co-op. So maybe you can just make it super hard and then gang up against it. I don't know. But it's not made as a co-op, unfortunately. And that should be their next expansion. Just saying.
Yeah, games. Considering that we talked about this beforehand, but the complete collection is what they're calling this one. So I don't think they're going to have room for another expansion.
It's complete up to now. They're still making more.
That's fair.
How many expansions did Dominion have? Right after they said they're not doing it anymore. Come on.
Yeah, but they didn't come out with a complete collection though. Although DVDs do that all the time. The complete collection.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, they do. It's
then fine. It comes out with Director's Cut Complete Collection number 2.
Yeah, well, they need to do an Everdell, like the Orleans Invasion game where it makes the game into, something co-op. That would be amazing. Anyway, that's not what this is, but you should check it out because Everdell is a fantastic game. And another one that I'm going to point out, actually I'll point out two. There's one that is a 2-player game, which I'm not usually into 2-player games. And I don't know if I'll get this one actually, but the premise is pretty funny. The name of the game is So You've Been Eaten. And one player is playing this space miner who is purposefully going into the belly of this giant space worm in order to go in there and mine minerals out. And the space worm is trying to kill him while he's in there, and he's trying to get out with his minerals.
This sounds like, 3021 Dirty Jobs, episode 12.
Absolutely, yeah. So you could imagine that this guy's job manual, like the first page is, so you've been eaten. And now what do you do? Yeah. So I think that's going to be pretty funny, but I don't know if I'll pick it up, but I'll definitely check it out. And then
it looks cool though. I like the artwork for it.
Yeah. Oh, the artwork does look good. And even like the little crystals and everything looks like it's going to have some pretty nice components. Another one that I'll mention because I was a playtester for this game is Eternal Palace. This is a game by Alley Cat Games, and it's a dice placement game where you roll all your dice and then you get to see what everyone rolled. So okay, they could go here, they could go there, whatever. But then you take your dice and you put it behind your screen and you can pair them together to change their values into other things. And then you reveal where you're going. So it's got this extra step, which makes it really a pretty cool tactical dice placement.
So you get to see what they roll, but you don't know the combinations they're going to come up with.
Right. But you can kind of see what they might be going for. Will they do that or won't they? And then on the board, everything that you're going for, they're all like little racetracks, basically. When you get something, you move up on this track. And when you hit the top of it, you get, a victory, whatever. Usually, I shouldn't say whatever. Usually it's a piece of a painting, because the other really cool thing about the game is you get these pieces of paintings and then you put them together and you actually are creating a little painting in front of yourself. So the first piece you get is like your backdrop, and the next piece is covering 3/4 of that, and it goes on and it's like your landscape. And then there's something that's more in the foreground that goes on top of that, et cetera, et cetera. So you're actually building this little piece of art as you go out of all these little pieces that kind of can be interchanged. That's a really cool concept.
What's that one called again?
Eternal Palace. And it was quite fun. Definitely check it out. I enjoyed doing the playtesting with that one.
That sounds pretty cool. I'll have to check that one out afterwards.
Yeah. And Alley Cat Games, I'm not very familiar with what they've done up to now as far as the components. But the concept of taking all of these artwork pieces and layering them on top of each other, if they can get that right with the components, I think it'll be fantastic, because the game really is quite good.
Well, sweet. Any more news items? Or are we going to move on to some cool stuff here?
Oh, just one more I'll mention is also ending very soon, 7 days from now, but this will be out in time, is Beasts of Balance is having a Kickstarter for a Rebirth. And if you missed out on Beasts of Balance and you're into app-driven balance games, well, this is about the only one out there. So,
yeah, is it just this like a reprint?
It's a reprint. They're adding some extra things. But it's definitely a reprint. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You can get some extra beasts, and I'm sure the app is going to change as well.
I remember playing this.
Pretty much the same game.
Yeah. I played this with Eric, and I actually thought it was pretty decent. And then come to find out, he bought it from Sam's Club for $20.
Yes.
And so he went back up and got a couple more copies, and I bought one from him.
Yeah, and I did too. It was really nice of him.
Okay, yeah.
Really nice of him to do that.
That was a couple of years ago, right? That's been a little bit.
I think he just gave me my copy. I could be wrong. Maybe I bought it from him, but I think he just gave it to me. It was really nice of him.
Either way, point being is the amount of money that it was compared to retail was ridiculous.
It was fantastic. That game is normally what?
$100.
$80. $100. Yeah,
I think it's $99.99.
Jeez. Yeah. Okay. Well done, Eric.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good find. I can't wait because I think my son will really like that one. Now he's a little older since when I got that.
Yeah. So I figured I'd bring this one up because we've got the base game now. We might want to add on to it.
That's fair. I wonder, do you have to buy the whole thing, or can you buy?
No, you can buy different sets or whatever.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to check it out. It's called Beast of Balance Rebirth.
Correct.
Nice. Cool. Moving on.
Yep, that's what I got.
All right. Well, before we talk about the games, get into the Outriders thing here, please support us. If you want to support us, just go to MeepleCore.com, click that Humble Bundle partner link, which will take you to Humble Bundle. I test this out just to make sure it's still working the proper way. You know, it's easy to give somebody the link to a specific bundle that has our partner ID attached. However, you can go to MeepleCore.com, click that link, and any of the bundles that you click, it will say now you're buying this or supporting the MeepleCore podcast. And there's a slider at the bottom that you can change what percentage of what you pay goes towards us. I think it's like 10 or 15% normally, but there are obviously charities and such. So choose however you want to do it. But either way, I love Humble Bundle. It's the only reason I actually use them as a affiliate link, basically, because it's such a great deal. You get tons of games for a very small price. I mean, I think this one's over already, but they had like the board game, the Asmodee bundle, where you get like 20 something games for $20. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
There's always new bundles being added. There's also the Humble Bundle monthly that has kind of like a choose your own package of games among a list of available games. So definitely check it out if you're a PC gamer. They also have like 3DS games and books, like software bundles, all kinds of stuff. It's such a good site. And I think they raised like $39 billion for charity or something crazy so far. Very, very cool stuff. So check that out, and check us out on patreon.com/MeepleCore. So we got 3 things we're going to talk about. We have Scape Goat, Dragonscales, and then the demo for the PC game Outriders. So first up here, we have Scape Goat.
This is a 2020 game. The BGG tagline is, "You're part of the Billy Goat Criminal Masterminds group." And the designer is John Perry. The artist is Burr Johnson. And the publisher is Indie Boards and Cards. It's almost hard to read some of these taglines without laughing sometimes.
It is funny. Yeah. Especially the theme of the game is ridiculous.
Billy Goat Criminal Masterminds, people.
Basically, in this game, you're kind of using social deduction in a way to find out who the scapegoat is and frame them so that you win. However, if they think that they are the scapegoat, they can go to the police and basically turn everyone else in from assuming like a reduced sentence or whatever.
Yeah, they plea bargain. Yeah.
They plea bargain, yeah.
And I would say you're definitely using social deduction. I hope you're using social deduction.
Yeah, that's fair. So we did play this digitally, but in the actual game, you get a player board based on the number of players that you're playing. Essentially, it's a color. On the backside, there's this matrix of options. Some dice are rolled. It tells you the X and the Y. So 8 and 3, kind of like a battleship or something. And you draw the conclusion and you're like, okay, the red player is the scapegoat. So let's say you're playing with 6 people. Well, 5 of the players are going to see that the red player is the scapegoat. The red player is going to see a different color, maybe yellow, blue, whatever. At that point, you're ready to begin. You do a little bit of setup. There's some cards in the middle of the table that represent the actions. You're going to start off on one of these, and your turn is pretty simple. You're going to basically move, so you can't do the same action twice in a row. You can move it to any other card you want. You will perform the action that it says. So just to kind of give you an idea of what you're doing, there's like, you have a hand of cards. Was it 2, I think? I can't remember if you have 2 or 3 in your hand.
You have 3 cards.
You have 3 cards in your hands, and these are just simply colors of the other players. It's their, character art on a card. Some of the cards do have 2 different characters. Some has blue and yellow on it. Anyway, you're trying to get a card that represents the scapegoat that you know of. So if you think the scapegoat is blue, because obviously it's what your player board told you at the beginning, you need to have a blue card in your hand for whenever the frame attempt happens. And what you're doing is, so you'll move your guy on one of the cards, you'll do the action. Maybe the action is to trade a card with somebody simultaneously. There's another one that's called the stash, where there's like these 3 cards out. You can basically swap your card with one of those cards. Mm-hmm. There is the spy, where they have to show you their hand of cards. And there's only a couple more cards. There's the prepare card, which has 2 tokens on it. And when you go there, you collect one of those tokens, and that's basically it. Once both tokens has been claimed, by two different people, that card will flip over. And now anyone who goes there can either, if they don't have a preparation token, they can steal it from somebody who has one, or they can, initiate a frame attempt. And what this does is everybody has to basically reveal a card. And if everyone reveals the same color, probably minus one person, obviously, then the frame attempt happens. So if everybody reveals blue and the blue player, it doesn't matter what card they reveal, they're not counted in this. But then you reveal who the scapegoat is, and the people trying to frame either win and the scapegoat loses, or it's a failed attempt, and then you just continue on in the game. But obviously the scapegoat knows a lot of information at this point.
They know everyone's gunning for him, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the last action you can actually do, which will end the game, is to go to the cops. Go to the cops. And obviously the person who thinks they're the scapegoat is going to go to the cops. But it doesn't mean that they win. What happens is the game just stops, basically, and then you find out who the scapegoat really is, and that player wins. So you hope that it's the person, or like if you're the person that goes to the cop, you hope you're the one who initiated the go to the cops action. After you do your card or whatever, there is one last thing you do. You can swap your card from your hand, your evidence card, with one card at the action that you're at. There's only one stipulation. If you have a card with your color, you have to put that down first.
Yes, right. You have to make that switch. And if you do have your own card, you have to put that color out so that your color becomes available for other people who might be trying to frame you.
Yeah. And other than like setup and everything, that pretty much is the game. It's a pretty simple, 15-minute game maybe?
Absolutely. Yeah. Very, very quick.
All right. Tell us about it, George. You're the one who showed us this. What's your thoughts?
Okay. So this game is a game where it takes the social deduction standard formula, which is, you know who you are, but you're lying to me about who you are. And it totally switches that. Now, you don't know who you are. You can't be sure. Nobody can be sure. Anybody could be the scapegoat. You get a piece of information. The game could be lying to you. So you don't know your own role.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It gets really nice when you see all kinds of your color cards on the table. He's like, I'm pretty sure I'm not the scapegoat.
Yeah, nobody wants my color. That's good. It's delicious. This game is so good because you have that paranoia of, wait a minute, why did they do that? They're out to get me. I'm the scapegoat. And you probably aren't. It's so funny.
Yeah. Because the whole time, really you're thinking, in a 6-player game or whatever, I can't remember how many players this actually goes up to. It goes up to 6. In a 6-player game, you're thinking, well, I've got a 1 in 6 chance that I'm the scapegoat. So it's probably likely I'm not. But then you don't see any of your color cards on the table anywhere because each of the actions has one card. It has a slot for one card to be there.
Right.
And then some of the stash has 3 other cards that are face down or whatnot. But you're like, man, I don't see my card at all. And I only have one copy of it in my hand. And you start getting weirded out, especially early on, but then people start swapping cards out, and then
you start wondering, what are they doing? What do they know that I don't know?
Right. And it's really cool to do the spy act, or is it the trade action where you're like, yeah, I want to see if you know what you're talking about, George. And you pass a card to him. And as long as you pass, say the blue player is the scapegoat, and we trade just a blue card, because you can't show each other the card. You have to put them down face down at the same time and swap them at the same time. You pick them up, and basically it's almost like you didn't even trade a card. And you're like, yeah, all right, I trust you.
Or you give them a card and you're just like, what do you think about that card?
And they're like, why did you give me this? And you're like, uh-oh. Am I the scapegoat?
Exactly. Oh,
and then they're thinking, uh-oh.
And they're thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes. It's really good. It's such a fast game, and the level of paranoia that you get from this game is so, so fun. And it's just funny whatever happens. If somebody goes to the cops and blows the whole thing. And okay, that's something else that was pointed out by a commenter on BGG that I really like what they said. They said that it's a group against one game. Yeah. It's like everyone against one, but you don't know. You don't know if you're in the group. And so the weakest member of the group can just blow it for all of them. The group has to be strong because the one person gets paranoid and then goes and turns everybody in.
Yeah, because there's only a slight requirement to go into the cops. Like maybe, was it like 4 or 5 rounds or something? Or 4 or 5 player turns? I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's not a long game at all. It doesn't have to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you can't just go to the cops on the first round.
No.
There is a small time limit, but the time limit is necessary. It's going to happen, before you have enough information to really start being like, am I the scapegoat or not? So,
yeah,
man, yeah, it's a really good game. It's a small, footprint, and I really like, we haven't actually played the physical game. So I'm really curious on the grid and everything. 'Cause online, it just kind of tells you who's the scapegoat.
Right.
Or it tells you the color, it does all that math on the background.
Yeah. Well, I liked it well enough. I've picked up the physical game and played it in the physical game, and it works great.
Oh, okay, cool.
You have the card, you flip it over, it tells you exactly, it tells you who a scapegoat is.
Yeah. Who you think the scapegoat is, yeah.
Yeah, but the grid works. It works great. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Very, very quick, easy setup. Very, very fast to play and get the game going. And you just, you play it as long as you want to until you're done. And it's just a great social deduction game because it really flips everything around.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'll probably end up picking this one up as well. I didn't know how I was going to like it at first. It kind of, he showed it and I'm like, I don't know about this.
Well, it didn't help that the version we had some terrible, terrible art.
Yeah, I don't know if that was prototype or somebody was just making up their own stuff or stitching it together.
They were messing around. Like whoever made the game on Tabletop Simulator had taken like these meme heads. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, memes, like the common memes or whatever.
Yeah, and just stuck their faces on the different goats for no reason. It just made it ugly. So
that's fair.
That was unfortunate. But the actual game art, the goats, they're fine.
Yeah, when I actually saw the Kickstarter or whatever and the actual art, I was excited. It's really silly.
Yeah, it is.
All right, cool. Well, George's answer. He bought it.
Yep.
And I'll be picking this one up. It is very good. I mean, it's rated 7.7 on BGG currently, and I think that's, I'd give it a 7. It's a really good game.
Yeah, I'd give it a little higher, but it's really good.
Yeah,
actually,
for a party game to score that kind of stuff, it's, because you got social deduction games that are long, right? It says 30 minutes on here. I'd say it's between 20 and 30 minutes. It might be 30 the first couple of times you play it, but if you play with the same group, it is one of those games you'll play 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it just gets faster each time. Because there's only so much deduction. You don't want to speak a lot because the more you speak, the more the scapegoat's like, I'm out.
Right. But you could easily mislead one of your team members into thinking that too. You say the wrong thing.
You could. Yeah. It's definitely a game where you have to be very, I guess, cautious with what information you let out. Because if the actual scapegoat gets wind of one thing, they can make a really educated guess.
Right. And sometimes that what you're showing somebody or giving somebody is going to make them think something, but you also know they're not the scapegoat. So you're like desperately trying to say, don't take this the wrong way, and they're thinking, yeah, you're lying to me.
That's awesome.
It's good.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap that one up. I guess it's unanimous decision. It's a great game from us. So check it out. That is Scape Goat. The next game we have for you on this podcast is Dragonscales.
Dragonscales is a 2019 game. The tagline is, enter the dragon's lair, push your luck to advance, and become the greatest villain. The designer is Richard Lanius, artist is Stephen Gibson, and the publisher is Arcane Wonders.
And this is a reimagining of Dragon Rampage. Is that the name of it?
Yes.
Yeah. By Richard Lanius. I think that was published by Eagle Griffin.
I think you're right.
Maybe. Anyway, in this game, basically you play these villains that went into a villain lair and they're trying to kill this dragon thing, or it's a Hydra because it has 3 heads.
Yeah.
It has a blue head, a yellow head, and a red head. Each one of these heads has so many cubes, which represents how much damage you do to it. When you do damage, you take those cubes. And it's kind of like at the end of the game, you get trophies based on how many of the heads you got, right? So if you did the most damage to blue, you get a trophy or whatnot. But it also has it has 3 ways the game can end, but 2 of them are pretty unique. One, if you all stay and kill the dragon, like kill all 3 of the heads, then the game ends with a bunch of bonus points based on who did the most damage to the dragon, who all that stuff. And whoever didn't do the most damage to the dragon actually gets negative points. But if there's also a part of the dungeon, which is basically just a straight line, it's not like you move around on these different areas. But if you leave the dungeon, you got out of there, right? You get bonus, the in-game scoring changes a little bit where whoever got out gets a bunch of points. Whoever was second closest to the exit gets some points. And whoever the slowpoke was gets negative points because I guess they probably get eaten or whatever. But the game is pretty simple. You have 7 dice that you're going to roll behind your screen. Everybody will do this all at the same time. Yahtzee style. So you roll once, keep what you want, roll again, keep what you want, roll again. You can stop at any time. I mean, you could just roll once. One of the symbols on your dice is a dragon eye. You have to keep that, but otherwise you can choose whatever else you want to re-roll. A little bit of a trust game there. So if you have, people who they're not trustworthy with rolling stuff behind screens, you might have some problems. But anyway, you make that choice. And then in player order, starting with the first player, they're going to put all their dice out on this grid that's off to the side of the board. Basically, it's all 6 actions of the game because there's 6 sides to your dice. And there are spots for up to, all of them usually have 4 spaces except for the dragon eye that all 5 players can go there because it's a 5-player game. But you're only going to use the number of spaces, which is the player count minus 1. So if you're playing 4 players, then only 3 people can basically take each of these actions. So this kind of dice placement really matters. So on your turn, say you rolled like 2 shields, you're going to put them on the first space of the shield action. And then the 3 of your other dice is swords. So you're going to put those on your swords in spot 1. And then, maybe you had some dragon eyes and they go in the dragon eye thing. And then it's the next player. Well, if they put out 3 shields, they're going to bump you down a space on the shield track because they have clearly more shields than you. You can add your wilds to it. So I could have 1 shield and 3 wilds and we have, 4 shields total. But anytime you place out, if you have clearly more dice than the next players, they're going to get bumped down. And the way the actions kind of work is you get the best of that action to be in spot 1. And as you get bumped down the line, the action kind of, diminishing returns or whatever, deteriorates. Yep. So like the defense one, if you're in the first spot, you're actually going to get a defense token that stops you from being hurt. Or you can choose, I think, to heal 3 hit points. And then the rest of the spaces heal you hit points, but it's less and less and less. Except for the Dragon Rage icon, or Dragon, I think it's Dragon Rage. That action, the more eyeballs that you've rolled, is going to be bad because the more that you have there, whoever's in first place is going to suffer the most damage from the dragon attack. Anyway, once all the players have placed all their dice, then you will go through each action and do spot 1, 2, 3, 4 of, the defense. Then you'll move on to the Dragon Eye or Dragon Rage, do it spot 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. The actions are pretty simple. The defense token the defense action is going to give you the defense token or heal you some. The Dragon Rage, you flip out a card. It does a bunch of damage to the players that are, rolled the most eyes. It also serves as kind of like the event of the round. So there's like an action that happens that affects everyone. And if one of the 3 dragon heads have been destroyed, then it's also going to the dragon has rampaged, basically. He's going to freak out. And there's a section on the card that will do bad stuff to everyone. So it's like a second event. There's also a villainy action, which will allow you to draw cards from your personal villainy deck. The characters are asymmetrical in mostly that they have a deck of cards that are completely different than the other players. The only other stat you have is health, and that does vary among the characters based on how good their deck is, I'm assuming. There's a loot action, which allow you to draw loot cards from the middle of the table. And those are worth victory points if you like some of them are potions, so you can use them for great effect, but if you don't use them, they're worth victory points at the end of the game. And then there's the attack action, which you're going to roll these attack dice, Yahtzee style, and the dragon's going to hurt you, or you're going to also hurt the dragon and take some of its cubes from its heads. And the last one is the movement action, which will allow you to move further through the dungeon, because every space of the dungeon actually gives you a benefit. And then obviously if you leave the dungeon, it's going to trigger that in game. If all three of the heads are dead, it's going to trigger that in game. Or if all the players actually die, which is very rare, that's going to trigger an in game as well. And then at that point, you're basically just counting up points for various things. You get points based on if you did the most damage in blue, yellow, or red. And then you have those in-game scoring thing I talk about, depending on the game end with the dragon dying or somebody leaving. So that's pretty much Dragon Rampage in a nutshell. Anything else we'll bring up as we talk about it. And I really like this game. You played the original Dragon Rampage, correct?
I did, yeah. And this is not much different, to be honest. But I do think it's probably improved in a few ways. I can't recall, exactly the differences because it's been quite a long time, but I did enjoy it, the new version.
That's cool. Yeah. I looked it up a while back. This must have been the same year it released, which I think was 2019. Is that correct?
This one did.
Yeah. I looked it up when it was coming out at Gen Con that year, and some people were comparing the two versions. And I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of component differences, but for the most part, it seemed like the gameplay is pretty, I'm sure some cards have changed or whatnot, but.
Right. It's pretty much the same game.
Yeah.
It's just the other one was hard to get a hold of, I think.
Right. I agree. I like the artwork of this one a lot better, just because I like this style of art.
Full disclosure, a friend of ours worked on this.
Yeah. Steven Gibson did some amazing stuff on the art.
Yeah.
He always does a good job. I will say, if I had to nitpick one thing, the dungeon track is kind of at a glance difficult to see the way it goes, how it twists and turns, because it basically is a straight line, but
snakes.
It's snakes, right? And the path is kind of cool looking. It looks like some kind of magical, trail, but it is kind of hard to see at first. But once you play it one time, it's not really a difficult thing to understand. It's just, if you don't know anything about the game, it does look really kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
But otherwise, all the art and everything's great. And the game itself is really fun. I think it can be a vicious game.
It is a take that.
It has a lot of take that. Probably more so than I think our group is normally into. You can not do it, but then some of the characters I think are a little bit less powerful if you're not capitalizing on that.
Yeah, you pretty much have to depend on everyone to drag down the leader. It's one of those kind of games.
Yeah.
It's a munchkin-y kind of game,
Right. Munchkin-y as far as as far as what you're trying to do. Oh, somebody's doing really well. Beat them down, move on to the next person.
Yeah.
But not so much in Munchkin where, the leader can just be completely ganged up on because everybody saved all these crazy cards. There are cost requirements for doing things. You get these dragon scales, and your abilities cost dragon scales to play. So, I mean, it's got a really cool back and forth to it, what you're trying to do. It gets frustrating, I think, in general, when you roll your dice and people just quote unquote outbid you on everything. So you can have a round where you're really just doing crappy because you get knocked off because there's only, like I said, there's only so many spaces per action equal to the number of players minus one. So if the 3 actions you're going after is the 3 actions everybody else happened to roll, you just didn't happen to roll the right combination, right? Then you're going to be knocked off that track. And if you're knocked off, those dice are worthless.
Yeah, it can be, you can have a rough time, no fault of your own. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's a Yahtzee mechanic. It's a Yahtzee roll 3 times mechanic that's been used a million times in so many games.
It's tried and true.
It is. Yes, but it's, you're making the decision of what dice to keep and what dice to re-roll. So you have some agency here, and that decision of what you do try to go for and when, it makes a difference, and it's fun. It's just a fun experience.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I like that for the most part, all the actions are pretty good. So, I mean, doing anything is really good.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be a tight game. You're not just going to get destroyed, pretty much. You're going to always have something to do.
And even though it does have player elimination, if you're killed, you're still not out of the game. You just don't get to score more points. And so when the game does end, you still add up all the points. You get your trophies if you did well with doing so much damage to each head or whatnot. But it's not like if you get killed, you've lost.
Yeah.
And typically, if you're killed, it is one, you ignored it completely and it's all your fault. I mean, it's so you don't die in one hit in this game type of deal.
Right. You got to heal yourself.
You got to heal yourself. Right. But I mean, I guess it could happen that you're trying to roll to heal and you never roll shields or whatnot. But
right. Sure. It's a dice game.
It's a dice game. Very unlikely that you're going to die like that, though. It's typically like if you die, it's a very late game.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't let the player elimination scare you away from it because I don't believe that the player elimination is that strong in the game.
Yes. I do think that in terms of how the dice work, there are certain outcomes that are going to be better than others. You need to go for those attack dice. You've got to beat up the dragon if you want to get some points.
Yeah, because
that's the whole point. You're going in there to kill the dragon, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Even if the game ends with people leaving, you still get points for killing the dragon and doing the damage.
Yeah. So don't ignore that completely.
Yeah, that's a good strategy tip there. But I like even though the dragon's doing damage to you from the dragon attack, because you through no fault of your own, you rolled a bunch of eyeballs, right? A bunch of eyeballs. You still get like a consolation prize for it though, because whoever gets hit the most ends up getting some dragon scales, or maybe they get to draw a villainy or a loot card or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's not like super punishing. It does have that, well, I'm going to beat you up and now you got to go for heals, but here's some, here's some candy.
Yeah. The Dragonscales, that's your candy. That's your second economy that can try to help you out. It's like a subtle catch-up mecanism.
We played this game on Tabletop Simulator. I have played it in real life. It is phenomenally faster in real life.
Agreed. It's not a long game.
But with that being said, I mean, even on a digital platform, I mean, we only put 2 hours into it, maybe.
Yeah, and that's, doubling the amount of time that it ought to be.
Yeah.
This is a good 5-player game. Everyone's involved. Everyone is, just having a good time. It's a good 5-player game for sure.
Yeah, and I think it actually is probably best at 5 players. I wonder what BGG thinks. It says best with 4. I would play it with 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Just because even though with less players, you shrink the amount of spaces per action, with more players, you are fighting over almost everything.
Exactly.
Which is the point.
Right.
So,
yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll wrap this up, but I think for me, I'm going to end up picking this one up. I usually buy pretty much everything Arcane Wonders has, so not a very big surprise, but I was looking forward to this. I did have it on my top 10 games, or anticipated games for Gen Con release.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah. So when we did the 2019 Gen Con release games, that episode we did our top 10 anticipated or, games we're looking forward to for the convention. This was on there for me. I really like this one. I actually didn't even know about Dragon Rampage until this one came out. Would have been cool to try that one.
It's the same experience. This one is, it's my favorite Richard Launius game. And that isn't saying a lot. I haven't kept any Richard Launius games previous to this. I've traded away Defenders of the Realm and Elder Sign.
Oh, Elder Sign.
I'm not a big Cthulhu person.
That's fair. He does a lot of Cthulhu games.
That is his big thing. Arkham Horror, I'm sure, is a great game. That's probably, a game that I would enjoy if I ever checked it out. I have not. And I traded away Till Dawn, which was actually, a fairly decent social deduction kind of game.
I have that. The vampire kind of ink and goldish game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Push your luck. I shouldn't say social deduction. It's more push your luck. But this one, out of all of those, this is the one that I wouldn't turn down a game of, and I would enjoy playing, and I do enjoy playing it. I don't think I'll pick it up just because I'm not into take that as much. I mean, I don't know, the Yahtzee mechanic as well not necessarily my favorite thing, but if I'm going to be playing a Yahtzee mechanic kind of game, I'm going to join in this one happily.
Well, when we did our top 5 guilty pleasures, Yahtzee was one of my guilty pleasures. So it's pretty clear that I'm enjoying this one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, that is, you got anything else? We done?
No, that's it for me. I damned it with faint praise, but it actually is a good game. It's just not for me.
That's fair. If you got a group that likes take that type of stuff where it's controlled, at least this is a game you should try out, especially if your group has 4 or 5 players. So
yeah, if you like dice placement and the cleverness of this one, I think you'll really go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Really good game. That is Dragonscales. So last on the podcast, we're going to talk about a PC game. I think it's on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and all that stuff too, but it is Outriders. This is a demo of the game that's coming out on April 1st. This is published by Square Enix, and it is a looter shooter, kind of like Borderlands / Destiny. We'll get into that in a minute, but I will say that if you don't want to know anything about the game and you want to go into games blindly, this is a spoiler alert, but we're only really spoiling a demo. So it's not that much. We're not going to be talking about the storyline and all that crap. It's just mostly the gameplay and our experience playing the demo.
Yeah. I believe the demo was the first 3 hours of the game.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah. If you watch all the cutscenes, I mean, the way the demo works is you play through this tutorial that's probably about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how quick you are with these type of games. The game is like an over-the-shoulder third-person game. If you're familiar with games like Gears of War, where you can run and jump into cover, and then you could pop up and shoot and jump back down behind cover, and then jump to the next thing of cover, that's kind of how this game is played. If you're not familiar with Gears of War, maybe you'll be familiar with games like Division on the PC and stuff. Well, anyway, George shaking his head. I don't know these games. The game is kind of like a looter shooter, though, like Destiny or Borderlands, where you go and kill things and they drop stuff like Diablo. You know, it's just like you go and get new loot, replace your guns, get new loot, replace your guns. It has a very Destiny feel to it, where it's like that futuristic, but instead of Destiny, where it has like this weird magical element to it, this is like futuristic with more of a Mad Max feel to it as well. Because there's a lot of rusty weapons and just crazy stuff happening. This game is absolutely rated R. I don't know what it's got cussing galore. I mean, they cuss a lot in this game. If you're familiar with that, I think the same team did Bulletstorm, which I absolutely love. The writing was absolutely trash, but the game was phenomenal. That's like a hidden gem PC game if I ever saw one. But, anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the demo has a couple of story quests, and then it has 3 side quests. And overall, the first playthrough, I think George and I played it. It was 4 hours in total.
Yes, I think that's about right.
And then I've played it again with Eric. When you get past so you play like through the tutorial, and then it'll say, okay, now you get to pick a character because there's like a certain story thing that happens. You get to pick your class, and out of the 4 classes, you'll choose one. And then you go on. But after that, after you beat the demo, you can actually create a new character and bypass the tutorial and just pick your character class. And you can skip through every cutscene and stuff like that. So you can pretty much create a new character and do like an hour and a half and play through everything. So it is a pretty quick demo if you played it once. I ended up playing 3 of the 4 characters to the max level in the demo, which is 7. I mean, 7 isn't really high, but I mean, a couple hours to get to level 7.
Right. You went through the whole demo that many times.
Yeah. I basically played the demo 3 full times, and I've started the 4th one. So George, we'll start with you because you're, I don't know how many looter shooters you've played, but.
Well, I never made it through, what's the one? Borderlands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started playing that
Top
one.
10 for me, by the way. So this game has a heavy comparison going on right now. Anyway,
Does
go ahead.
This felt nothing like that to me.
I just meant like a looter shooter style comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the problem was the cartoon art for Borderlands didn't grab me. And
ironically, it never had that at first.
The cell shaded or whatever.
Yeah, it had a realistic Mad Max. It looked awesome. And then the company Gearbox or whatever decided to scratch all of that. And the lead artist, I think it was, I don't remember her name. Well, anyway, she was like the art director. She was so she went absolutely nuts on them. And she basically just quit.
Oh.
Because it was so crazy, because they scrapped her entire realistic art style and went with this cartoony shell shaded stuff, which, to be honest with you, fits the comedic relief the game has better than realism.
Okay.
But if the game was going to take a serious tone, then the original art style would have been better.
Right. Well, I just think that's probably what kept me from getting into it. But I also think I felt it kind of tedious to go around and get all these pieces of weapons and stick them together and have to deal with all that all the time. I just wanted a good weapon, period.
Not much into the grind.
I hate grinding. That's my worst thing in games. Don't make me do the same thing over and over in a game just for incremental benefit. I don't want that.
That's fair. So what did you think of this then?
Well, I liked it. I liked it better than Borderlands for sure. And I think the reason is because at least in the demo, I felt like I was getting somewhere. I felt like I was adding new powers all the time, and maybe they designed it that way to, sucker you in. I'm not sure, but I felt like the guns didn't really excite me very much. The guns didn't change very much. That felt the same kind of boring to me. But I like this game has magical powers going on. So you get to be able to do these kind of godlike things right from the start.
Yeah.
And that was super fun. So I think that made the difference for me.
You played the Techromancer.
Yeah.
Right.
Strangely.
Did you keep playing the Techromancer afterwards, or have you played any of the other classes?
No, when I went back, I played the blue guy.
The Trickster.
The Trickster, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I had a blast with that, actually.
Let me give a real quick rundown, and then we'll talk about them. So, there's 4 character classes. You have the Technomancer, which is essentially the sniper, gadget-wielding guy who throws down turrets and stuff. You have the Trickster, which is the jump into combat, do a bunch of burst damage, and get out of, because it's like a rogue, very close combat-ish type of character. You have the Pyromancer, which is essentially the mage. It's medium range, a bunch of AoE damages and stuff. And then you have the Devastator, which is the tank of the group. Although it doesn't seem as tanky, he does have abilities to coat his whole skin in armor, and you can go in and suffer 60% less damage and things like that. But he has other abilities that make him go in and do crazy amounts of damage and such. But that's kind of your 4 character classes. The game is a 3-player game. So when you join up with somebody, and it has the same stuff when you go through and you kill a boss or you open a chest or whatever, it drops your own loot for you, not for the other players. You can't steal loot from each other. As a matter of fact, you can't even trade. At least in the demo you can't, but I don't think there's any plans to trade with people later on, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't quote me on that one. But anyway, so tell us about your thoughts about the Technomancer and the Trickster. Which one do you like better?
Trickster, well, it's hard to say because those kinds of shooter games, I really like doing the long range sniper guy, and so that's why I picked that one first. But then I really wasn't that satisfied with the fact that he's throwing out a turret and he's throwing out rocket launchers and stuff. And okay, it's cool, but it was nowhere near as cool as running around and just fireballing everyone to death. So I was a little disappointed in that. I thought maybe he could have had some better powers, and maybe he would later. I don't know. But
yeah, you do get 3 of the 8 powers in the demo just because you unlock them by level, which I think you start with 1, then you get one at 3 and 6.
Okay.
And then you end up getting them 10 and 20 and 30 or whatever.
Yeah, I think I would have liked him better if his sniper rifle was far more effective. And I felt more like so many other games where if you have a sniper rifle and you shoot somebody, they're dead. It's just, you shoot them one time. And in this one, it's not necessarily the case. It can be,
we don't really have to use a sniper rifle, right?
Right. In fact, I didn't even find that many in the demo. I kept using other guns.
Because what was the abilities? You have one that's like, you end up getting 4, I think, because you can only have 3 equip. So you have like a turret that you can throw down. You have like a proximity grenade type thing.
Right. It's like a sticky grenade. Yeah.
And then like a missile launcher type of thing.
A missile launcher. Yeah. And then the last thing is, you can make your weapon do poison damage, basically. That one seems a bit silly and useless. If I'm trying to fire a sniper rifle, the point isn't to poison somebody, to me.
Right, but because in this game you have a primary and a secondary weapon, and then you have like your pistol. And so I'm wondering if like you can carry like a heavy machine gun, turn on that buff, spray down like a bunch of dudes just to poison them all, switch back over your sniper rifle, and then pick them off as they're bleeding, you know?
Right, that might be effective. I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah, but it wasn't that exciting to me in the end. I went ahead and switched characters and got a feel of what, having like the magic powers is like. And that was a whole lot more fun because that trickster guy, what he gets to do is when he kills somebody in melee, I should say, then he gets impervious to damage for a short time. I'm pretty sure, or at least far less damage, perhaps.
It gets a shield buff on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I could just run up to somebody, kill them, and be safe while I ran up to the next guy and killed them. And I just felt like I was able to do a lot more.
That's fair. Actually, I'll be honest with you. So the first character I played was the Pyromancer. And then when I started playing again, I played the Trickster.
Uh-huh.
I hated it for about the first 45 minutes. I was like, man, this thing, it's garbage, right? But you have to play towards its strengths. And so its abilities is you have this, number one is like this blade, this like psychic blade. I don't remember what it's actually called, but you swing it and it like does all this damage, right?
Yes.
Like in an area arc.
It skeletonizes it just kills them flat out.
It does a ton of damage, but yeah, the graphics, it makes their like skin melt away and their skeletons there. It's like, does a ton of damage. And most of the trash mobs it'll kill. But then you have like this like stasis bubble that you can put up that slows everyone down and all the bullets that come into it, which looks really cool if you're getting shot at a lot. Cause it's like Matrix or something.
Right. And then you can leave the bubble yourself and everyone else that's stuck inside is slow and you shoot them.
Yep. And then you have the teleport where you directly teleport behind somebody. And
I never could do that.
Oh, you activate it and then you left clicked on the character you want to jump to. But here's the thing, like you have to kind of build your character out for it to work, right? So I end up finding a shotgun that had like every weapon has rarities, right? You have like the white weapons, you have the green, the blue, and the purple and the orange. And anything that's blue or higher actually has like a buff on it. And in the full game, you're going to be able to do crafting where you can break down these weapons and take off that unique ability and apply it to something else. So maybe you hate shotguns, but you really like its effect. You can take that effect and apply it to a sniper rifle. It does not have crafting in the demo yet, or it's never going to, but it's not active, right? Okay. Anyway, I found a shotgun that when you get a killing blow with it, it actually heals you for 55 health. The Trickster has so little health. I have like 175. So I kill something that's like a third of my health.
Yeah, that's great.
And on top of that, I had equipment, right? Each gear usually has it's a power on it, usually affects one of your abilities that you have. So for instance, that teleport move, when you teleport, nothing happens. You just teleport right behind them. And if you got a shotgun, bam, 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 they'll die before they turn around. But I had a piece of gear that actually do like when you teleport, it immediately does damage to them as well. And so what I would do is teleport into a group of people and use stasis bubbles. So they're all like slow and then just shoot them all, because it doesn't matter if I'm getting shot, because since they're slow, I could kill them faster and just stay at full health.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's got this really cool, you have to play to the strength of the character. That's a pretty obvious statement for basically any RPG type of game. But the idea is
you pair those abilities with the gear that you get.
Right. It is a game where you're taking the gear that you have and using it with your powers, not necessarily just using your powers alone.
Okay.
You do need to get the gear to like complement it pretty well.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, the Devastator, I like the Pyromancer a lot, but man, the Devastator is a lot of fun. It basically seems like the Trickster to me. I was doing all the stuff I was doing exactly what I just said with the Trickster. I ended up finding all the same crap. He has a teleport thing, but his teleport, he comes in, he like jumps up in the air and crashes down and does AoE damage.
Oh, wow.
And then, but when you do that, as soon as you land, bam, you put up your buff. Now you take 60% less damage because he's a tank. That
sounds really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he slams the ground like Thor and causes all this rupture stuff in front of you and does a ton of damage. I mean, he just goes in there, wrecks stuff, and takes a lot of hits.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I think you might want to try that one out.
I think I maybe will because, I mean, I'm getting shot all the time by everybody. So if I can take 60% less, that'd be nice.
Man, the Trickster was a lot of fun, and the stasis bubble that it puts up, I don't know where it's actual slow field or something like that.
Yeah.
That thing is awesome, and it's very useful. But the tank, the Devastator, was doing everything I was doing with the Trickster, but better. At least in the demo. But
right.
So far, I think all the classes are pretty fun. I haven't actually played the Techromancer, but I played through the game with you playing it, and then Eric played through it with him playing it. And
and what were you guys? You guys were the he was the Technomancer, and you were the.
Well, we actually went through it twice together. He played the Devastator and I played the Trickster. That was one combo. And then we finished it. At the end of it, we just started repeating all these side quests because you can just do them again and get rewards.
Okay. Yeah.
Which hilariously, just jumping to something else, they had to do a patch to stop certain chests from dropping legendaries because people were farming the demo so hard. And it's kind of like, well, just let people do it. But then again, if they were like massively, leveled up with like legendary gear going to the game, you can have two outcomes. It might ruin the experience, and then people will be like, well, this game isn't good. Well, you ruined it for yourself, and now you're complaining about it. So I can kind of see that, but more importantly, people like to race at these games where when the game gets launched, who can hit the highest level first? And if you're already got a head start because you got a ton of legendaries.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's not an MMO. It's more like a multiplayer game that you join, it's not an MMO where you run across anybody unless you go and do matchmaking.
Okay.
But anyway, and the second time we played, he played the Techromancer and I played the Devastator.
And did you guys beat the guy at the end?
We did.
Okay.
Because when you and I were playing it, that guy was rough, man.
Yeah, well, what would happen is he would just teleport me in the middle of everybody, and then they would all shoot me, and I'd be dead. And then it's just you.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. How did you guys avoid that in the other time that you played?
One, I think it was just play experience at that point because I was just better at the game then.
Yeah.
And two, it's knowing what he does and how to interrupt, because certain characters have more interrupt abilities than others.
Okay.
And so as he starts doing the ability where he's going to do it, you're just like, interrupt. You can't do it too many times because they build up a really quick resistance towards it for a short period of time, and then you can interrupt him again. But
yeah. Well, plus I think if you're not the Technomancer, maybe you're not as vulnerable to being just teleported in the middle of everybody. Maybe you don't care. You're like, oh, here I am. Now I kill everybody.
Right. Yeah. I think the Technomancer is a little bit weaker on the or more fragile, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not meant to be in the middle of a whole group of bad guys.
Right. And the Trickster is too. It might be even more fragile, but it has a bunch of built-in ways to get out because that's what it does.
Yeah.
Gets in, does a ton of damage, and leaves while everything else is moving real slow. Even if you get teleported in the middle of it, you just pop that bubble and leave.
Yeah.
And I think it also depends on what the gear is. Now that I've played it more, I've probably got about 10 hours in the game now, in the demo.
Yeah.
Which I will say is a great amount of time for a demo. And I am outshined by Steven Gibson, at Arcane Wonders. He has 30 plus hours in this thing right now.
Oh man.
He is rocking it. Right. And, I think knowing that your gear really matters. When you and I played it, I wasn't paying attention so much to the gear abilities. I was like, oh, that was a cool ability. Oh, that's a cool ability.
Right. Yeah.
But really knowing what the abilities do and what gear to look for and get and such, that really does make you more powerful.
Okay. I can see that.
So I think we were way lower in strength than we should have been at that point. But for new players to the game, we were okay, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Eric and I were just power gaming it at that point. We would go in, kill him in like 15 seconds and be like, you know.
Oh man. Well, at least I made it where it was more of a challenge for you.
That's fair. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it is. It is actually fun. It is a really good experience. The controls are super smooth.
Oh yeah.
And the graphics are really good.
The graphics are disturbing.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you said, the thing that makes their flesh melt away into their skeletons and whatever, or these different melee attacks, they're really pretty graphic.
Yeah, it is absolutely a violent game.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like, other than the fact that you're just shooting people, right? You know,
left and right, yeah.
You're shooting people, but you shoot people in like all kinds of games. But what I mean by violent is like just the weird crap that your abilities do. Like we're talking where the trickster hits them with that blade and literally it melts all their flesh off and you just see like their bones and, like some of their organs. And it's like, it makes this weird noise. Like it's just really disturbing imagery and it's fantastic.
It is. It is really good. Yeah.
The only thing I won't spoil is in the first hour of the game when you're doing the tutorial, there is a very, very disturbing like scene where you're driving through something. You cannot miss it. You will know what it is when you see it.
You and I both had the same reaction to it.
We're like, what the crap?
Yeah. Not so many words, but yeah, close.
Yeah. It definitely reminds me of Mad Max. And I guess this is the only spoiler thing I will say, but obviously it's the first 15 minutes of the game, so it can't be that much spoiler. So it just depends on if you don't like to go into a game knowing anything about the story or whatever.
Yeah.
But essentially the concept of the game is Earth sucks, you're leaving because, who knows?
You have to.
Right, you have to leave. They don't really explain this right then. Or at all in the demo, at least. But basically, you get on this massive ship. I think millions of people, maybe tens of millions of people are on this massive ship. And everybody's in cryostasis and you travel for 80 years to this.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter because you're in cryo, so time doesn't really exist.
Right. And so you get there on this planet and you're supposed to do this scouting mission because you're the Outriders. I'm assuming these are elite troopers or Marines or something.
Yeah, you're scouts. Yeah.
Right. I don't think you actually have powers or anything. It's not like you're genetically modified humans or anything.
No. You're just rangers. Yeah.
Yeah. And you go out into this planet, some crap happens, you get back, all this stuff goes, to crap basically. And at the last
powers.
You get really ill because this black floating goop stuff touches you and you freak out or whatever and you're throwing up or whatnot, and one of the main characters throws you into cryo because you're basically dying, and you're like, well, if you come out, we'll maybe have a way to heal you at that point.
Right.
So you go back into cryo for another 30 years and you come out and basically the planet is, or not the planet, but the immediate area is like Mad Max.
Wait, was that in 30 years? That was it?
Yeah, 31 years. That's why the same characters are still alive. They're just old.
Okay. Okay. That's
yeah,
true.
like all the main characters that you saw in the story, that are your age. Now they're 30 years older than you, and they're like, where you been? And so you come out and it is a rude awakening. When you jump out of cryo, that is when the S hits the fan.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool stuff. And then From there is when our crazy scene we were talking about. And then that's pretty much where the game actually starts, past the tutorial and story and all that. And then,
well, I will say that, okay, in the tutorial, you're running around, you're doing magic on people and you're shooting them and everything. And then a couple of them have magic too. Like, you're not the only magic people around. There's bad guys with magic. And I'm looking forward to the actual game where you would do more of that. But then also, at the very start of the demo, the very start, there's like this bird alien flying across a landscape, and there's these giant monsters walking around. I want to go up against those dudes. I want giant monsters. That's, you know what I mean? That's what I'm looking forward to if they would get to that point.
I believe they do. But here's the thing, that quest that we didn't finish, at the end of that, you actually see one.
Oh, okay.
You don't do anything with it, but it's like, here's what's going to happen. 'Cause I think the game progression wise, now this is not a spoiler. This is me speculating. I believe that it's like you're fighting people, but you're only on a small portion of the planet because no one's been able to venture out because of these things called the anomaly, which comes through and just wrecks people, right? It wrecks hundreds of people at a time each time it comes through. However, some people become what's called altered, and that's basically what your character is. You're an altered because you have powers and such. And there's a bunch of other altereds out there that are basically playing God on this planet now. And I believe that you're going to go through and fight them and then fight these beasts and stuff out in the wild and all that.
Oh, because they're going to sick these beasts on you?
Either that or you're going to have to go find these altered, but then all that other crap's going to be in your way. You're just going to kill it all. Oh, man. And like
that would be cool.
I am really looking forward to this game. Steven told us about this, and maybe a few weeks before the demo came out, and he got me really pumped. It's such a good game. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to have, that kind of mindset when you play this game. It's violent. It's a game with guns.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's well done. They have all the guns.
They have all the guns. Yeah. The game has cussing in it and stuff, but if that doesn't bother you, it's still good. It's used in a movie style. It says it a lot, but it's not just saying it like Bulletstorm, where it's like a 13-year-old kid who's just writing a potty humor script or something.
It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all, because if you're in this situation with this kind of stuff going on, you're going to be saying some stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the main character is definitely a no nonsense kind of BA, grew up in the rough side of town type of character. Like, well,
right.
Kind of like a Bruce Willis.
Yeah. He's a typical tough guy.
Right. Typical tough guy. So.
Yeah. No, it's a good game, and it's free. That's really nice.
Well, the demo.
The demo is free.
Yeah. I think it's a $60 game when it comes out. Again, comes out April 1st. There is you don't pay any extra money, but if you get the day one edition, I think you get some extra skins and custom character, looks and things like that. But it's all, I believe, cosmetic.
It's a pretty top quality game. This is made by Square Enix. I guess they've made some other things.
Though they made a lot of great things. Square is one company. Enix was another one. They merged together.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe Enix was
to make this?
Well, no, they merged together years and years ago, but Square made all the Final Fantasy games and a ton of role-playing games and such. Enix made, I would say, the most popular thing that I can remember was Tomb Raider. So,
wow.
Yeah, they all, when they combine companies or whatnot, then they've come out with all kinds of stuff. A lot of stuff. Too many for me to actually say, but the most common or most well-known, I would say, is probably the Final Fantasies and the Tomb Raiders.
Okay.
Let's see what else.
I know I heard the name before.
Yeah. But I don't feel like looking it up. But the point is, they have a lot of games, and I am very familiar with them, especially because of the Final Fantasy stuff. But
yeah. But those aren't shooters.
No, not the Final Fantasies. I mean, obviously the Tomb Raider is more in line of that, but it's more of like an adventure game with guns.
Well, let me ask you this, because you play more of these kinds of games than I do. Typically, although we did both play this one, so I'll answer the question too. But which do you have a better feel about, this one or Destiny?
Destiny, 100%.
Okay.
However, that's kind of like a weird comparison, because I know this game is compared to Destiny a lot visually in the way the graphics and all that stuff look, the graphic arts and everything.
Right. And you're shooting things.
Right. I would compare this game more so to Borderlands than Destiny, because Destiny is more of like an MMO where you go through, you level up, you do dungeons, you do all the typical daily quests and then go to raids and things like that. This game actually goes through and, I mean, Destiny has a story mode too, where you go through and do the stories and the story quest or whatnot, but this is more of like a console game where you go through, you beat this stage kind of deal. You know, it's still kind of like an open world where you go get quests and go back and do it, but it's got more of that feel of the way Borderlands is laid out than Destiny, because Destiny, you can pretty much go, you know, anywhere you want and then come back. But, you know, Outriders is kind of like you just, well, as far as I know, I mean, obviously it's the demo, but you go from like area to area to area, you beat the game. Okay. Destiny, you don't really beat the game. You just finish the storyline and then you play it more and more.
I think they're probably going to be very similar in that regard. Like you finish the demo, you could go do those side quests, right? I think it's going to be kind of the same. Like you probably can do what you want in this one eventually. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I still like Destiny a whole lot because there's no platforming in this game. There is no jump, which was almost an immediate uninstall for me. No, I'm just kidding. I have done that though. Like the original Guild Wars 1 game, I uninstalled it after an hour and a half because I couldn't jump.
No, yeah, we really have to make this clear. You cannot jump at all in this game.
There is no jump. You can vault over like a piece of terrain, you know, a rock or whatever, or the cover that you're behind, you can vault on the other side, but there is no platform. Only if it lets you,
like there's a special place to, you know, the game says, okay, you could do that here.
Yeah, you can't vault over everything because it might be too high or whatever, but
yeah,
for the most part, there is no platforming in this, and that is one thing I like about Destiny, where there is a lot of platforming, especially in the stuff you don't have to do, like the side quest or the really obscure hidden quest and such. There's a bunch of like jumping puzzles and everything. And I love jumping puzzles so much. I like jumping in games, not in like a fidgety way, but I just actually enjoy the platforming of it. This has none of that. So
yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Like in Halo where you have a little jetpack. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think that diminishes the platforming aspect to me. Like it works really well in multiplayer games. Right, because the idea of like coming in, swooping down on somebody or whatever. But I like in the other games where it's like, how can I get up there? Okay, I'm going to jump to here and try to make this jump and all that stuff. I like that platforming.
Yeah.
And that is in Destiny. That's not in this. That's a really specific thing to compare them to. So if you take all that out, then they are very comparable games because you are kind of, it is like a first person shooter. Well, I mean, obviously Outriders is third person, but is that shooter game where you have that RPG element of getting things. Outriders is a little bit deeper, I think, on the RPG element, because not only do you have those skills, but you have an entire tech tree, like Diablo style tech tree where, you know, it's like a tree branch that you go through. You just don't get that many points in the demo. You only get 2, but you'll literally get probably 50 points in the main game because you need at least 15 to 20 to go across to one, you know, specialization. And there's 3 specializations for your character class. So
yeah, there's a lot of places for this game to go. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything real quick? I think we're going to wrap it up on time, or due to time.
I liked it.
Sweet. Yeah, definitely check it out. It is free. You can just download it on Steam. I'm assuming it's on the PlayStation Store and Xbox thing, you know, Xbox Live or whatever. And it's really good. try it out. I mean, obviously it's a demo, so don't go in expecting you're going to get 20 hours out of this thing, but it gives you right now. I think, it's very telling of a game to release a demo a month ahead of time. I mean, February 25th till April 1st. That is quite a bit of time for a demo to exist. They had to be pretty confident to release a demo at that point in 2021. You know what I mean? Other games are like,
has it happened before where a demo's been released and people said, this isn't good? We're not.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. But I mean, like the point is like a AAA game like this.
Yeah. Typically
it's going to be like, let's get everybody super excited because of all these YouTubers talking about it and blah, blah, blah. And everybody buys it on day one. Cyberpunk 2077. And then it's just a really crappy launch and the game isn't as good as what people are expecting it, or it runs into so many issues.
So a month later, people might not. They might be tired of the demo and not be super hyped for the game.
I think they're still going to be hyped. I think that maybe a month was a little bit long. I think like 2 to 3 weeks would have been great, especially 2 weeks, because you would have been hyped. And by the time because right now, if I'm done playing it, I have to wait an entire month for it to come out.
Yep.
And that might, dilute some
better
people.
Might come along.
Well, that or people are just going to move on and be excited about something else. I think 2 weeks would have been smarter, but it is what it is. Either way, I don't really care. I'm buying it. So
very cool.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this one up. Anything else before we do the outro here?
No, I think we covered it.
All right. Well, we want to thank you again for tuning into episode 114 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. This episode was recorded on March 8th, 2021. Please send us questions and comments to meeplecore@gmail.com. Follow MeepleCore on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out the video versions of the show on YouTube. Until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
George Breden.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.